Yo, this video has been coming for like 2-3 weeks, something like that. And cause I've mentioned it a few times, I think a few videos. I know I've talked with it in a few discussions I've had with guys, whether in the comment section or a couple of different live streams slash hangouts and whatnot. This has to do with Luffy's advanced gears. We're talking gear 4th, gear 5th, and potentially gear 6. Yeah, I know it's crazy. And that last one especially is going to be just like, whoa. Wonder, what? Time out, man. Pause. Can you replay that, mommy? I'll give my reasoning, then you can come with yours as always. Hopefully, you'll come with yours. Now, a link in the description will be down. A link will be down in the description, excuse me, from a video I actually did last year. It's almost been a year actually, and I actually had proposed this concept of a gear 4th and gear 5th, and I pretty much, you can watch it because I had to go back and rewatch it. And why not do, as one subscriber often talks about with me and other folks, gear secondo and gear 3rd, are they really going to be enough throughout the new world? Come on, let's get real. Let's be real here, ladies and gents. Do you think Luffy's just going to be able to go through with just those in some hockey? I don't buy it. Now, understanding the gears and understanding kind of sort of real world concepts, you can see the potential. Now, there's been a few different theories thrown out, mainly for gear 4th, that I'll deal with as I go along. Now, this concept of these multiple gears, it makes sense. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I know I was if not all of us in the One Piece fandom were thrown off guard when gear secondo was activated. It was like, what is this? Especially after the behind whooping, CP9 was giving Luffy and whatnot back on Water 7. And then there was gear 3rd, okay? And then the whole battle. Let me not go off because I don't want a whole 5-minute thing on the Luffy versus Rob Lucci. That battle's just on some next level, just simply other level stuff. But anyways, so we get those developments in about a little over midway through Paradise Grand Line, the first half of the Grand Line, right? Luffy's pretty much mastered those abilities, and he's controlled them, and he's, giving us more, he's upgrading them, especially with hockey. But when you start facing off against higher caliber opponents, such as Don Quixote do Flamingo, the Heavenly Demon, Don Quixote do Flamingo, and these later dudes, these New World pirates, dudes talking about the Underground Brothers, then you have guys like the Admirals and the Yonko. Current Luffy's not gonna cut it. He's just not gonna cut it. Even with his, his freestyle fighting with, his black and hockey fists and whatnot. That's just not all gonna cut it. We need more. 5 gears makes sense. Even 6 gears makes sense if you consider a car. If you consider the creativity of Luffy, you consider the properties of rubber. And before I did this, about a week or two ago, I was making sure I understood the properties of rubber perfect. Well, not perfectly, but had a better grasp of it. Okay. With the properties of rubber, let me say that what I was about to say for the later, because it actually does have to do with gear 6. Gear 4th. Now, I've heard the different theories, the snake shot theory. I've heard the sort of kind of spikes theory. I've heard, a great theory about compression and whatnot. Those are good, but it's problematic, and here's why. Okay, with the snake shot theory still being able to be hit, it's still, with the spikes theory, deformed. It's like, I don't know. And the whole compression theory, here's the problem with it. if you've seen it, it's like this. If you look at the properties of rubber, that will literally kill Luffy. Like, we know Gear Secondo is already bad, right? You compress his body. If he compresses and inflates, how many times do you think Luffy's gonna be able to do that before his body just simply wears out and gives up the ghost? Not very many. It's on some desperation stuff, and Luffy has mastered or close to mastering his devil fruit. After all the training he got from Dark King Silver's Rayleigh, you really think he's going to start doing that unnecessary stuff? No, it makes no sense. It makes him look weak. He needs about control. My theory about Gear 4, okay, my thoughts, my hypothesis about Gear 4 is, and back this up. Now, I've often said that the gears deal with hockey, with a specific type of hockey. What I mean by that is not that the gears are hockey based, but that they coincide with different forms of hockey. Okay, they are devil fruit based, but they need to go with different forms of hockey. Gear second, Gear Secondo, and Gear third work with armaments hockey. Gear fourth, I predict to work with observation hockey. I don't think it's a fluke that both the manga and anime have been focusing primarily, on Luffy's observation hockey. I mean, we've seen other scenes, where his armaments hockey, he's used that, and his conquerors hockey, and they've been beaten. But his observation hockey is specifically targeted certain scenes when he doesn't even need to use them. Okay, one example, a couple examples in the Dressrosa arc. Hope not be spoiled. Well, one is in a recent episode where he just is dodging Spartan for no reason. I mean, we had the Pacifista situation. He's just dodging, no reason. And then we have, spoiler. There's a scene where he's going to go to where Doflamingo is, and he dodges out of instinct. Now, keep in mind that back on Sky Pier, there was, during the fight Luffy had with Enel, Luffy did a move to where he went straight up instinctual and wasn't thinking. So thus, Enel couldn't predict his movements. He couldn't predict because the observation on the precognition, able to read sort of the mind of one. Because Enel's observation hockey, which he called mantra at the time, was on some next level stuff, some other level stuff. Luffy didn't think. Now, in the same sense of a Gear 4th, using observation hockey, I think of it as very, like, sort of a flexibility, and it's mainly based on observation hockey, even though it coincides with the sort of flexibility spring kind of complex, like just turning of I wouldn't say spring, but like rope-ish, more simple, like binding of rubber, like twisted, laughy, a lot of flexibility and tensile, a lot of tension, and just turning and contortion of the body. And the observation hockey is on this, and it's just going off of straight instinct, to where, for example, and this would be very beneficial in a fight against a person like Don Quixote Doflamingo, who's a counterpuncher, okay, who because people are talking, how is Luffy gonna be able to deal with his strings? Doflamingo slashes, or he does kicks, because if you notice, Doflamingo fights a lot with his kicks. If you've seen the manga, you've seen what Admiral Fujitora. If you read the manga, if you read Law with Sanji, you see about his kicks. Doflamingo, I would say, focuses more on his hockey. He's throwing these blows, these powerful blows. Luffy, with this Gear 4th ability, which is just an upgrade of what he's already showcased, foreshadowed, you could say, is where you know, with observation hockey, instead of being mindless, he's perceiving what Doflamingo's doing. So it's, you know, he's unpredictable in his movements because of the way his body works. It's kind of like a rope, taffy, bending kind of element. But at the same time, Luffy will be able to attack from that position. The thing about it is, every gear has its positives and, you know, its pros and cons. With Gear Secondo, you have the increased speed, but you could say, you know, power does go up some degree, but it takes a massive toll on the body. Gear Third, now originally, you know, it's massive, you know, the massive size, the massive power, the destructive capacity. Now originally it would also, you know, after its use, have a side effect of shrinking the body. Luffy's negated that. But what it does is it decreases your speed. With this ability, Gear 4, if I'm calling it, although it gives him great foreshadowing, great defensive ability, obviously it's mainly defense, and the offensive power, you know, obviously the speed isn't quite as much there. The offensive prowess isn't quite there. He's still gonna put in that work, because Luffy, remember this is gonna also work with Luffy's raw strength. Luffy can still put in that, but he, you know, or he can use hockey, you know, armaments hockey. But as far as in the raw power of a Gear Third or even a Gear Fourth, I mean, or even a Gear Secondo, is not going to have as much fighting power. So he's not going to be able to spam this. Now with Gear Fifth, if you look at the properties of rubber, you go back and you look at solid rubber. Now I was looking at this because, you know, there was a question of why not use it in tires and whatnot. Solid rubber. This goes in correlation with Conqueror's Haki. Now there's been a lot of discussion. I've done a video on Conqueror's Haki, and I'll also put that in the link in the description below. Conqueror's Haki is quite interesting in of itself. The domination of all things, you know, Luffy making his zone around himself, kind of, and I've theorized potentially Red Hair Shanks having like, if you read Toriko Setsunu's kind of pressure zone, you know, this whole thing with Conqueror's Haki. And Conqueror's Haki can be used to defense and offense and just, you know, dissipate. There's a whole things it could do, elements and all these things. With that being said, Luffy, people talk about the cut. You know, Luffy's dealt with swordsmen and whatnot. He's dealt, you know, Captain Axe-Hand Morgan from the beginning, Captain Kuro, Don Krieg, Arlong, Crocodile. So many slashes that he's dealt with. But people still have a problem with his whole thing with swordsmen. Well, in other you know, powerful people like a Shanks or Yonko, you know, like a Blackbeard, Kaido, Big Man, or even Akainu. You know, Akainu, this ability would, you know, he would need Conqueror's Haki because this ability wouldn't help. But for pretty much most other people, Gear 5th, solid rubber, to where it wouldn't be like, because people are throwing this like Nightmare Luffy kind of bulk up. He would bulk up, but it would be more of a tougher thing. Now, here's the disadvantage to this. I'll throw the disadvantage before I go more to the advantage side of it. The disadvantage to this ability would definitely be the loss of speed, pure and simple. And it's questionable whether it'll bring damage to actual Luffy. But I can tell you, it'll deliver damage to the others, because with being more solidified, less flexibility, you know, this could, and you could say he could use Armamen's Haki quite well with this as well. But the Conqueror's Haki, you know, the defense, that will domination, Luffy won't need quite as much speed, okay? He would be slow, but he wouldn't need quite as much speed. Luffy delivering powerful hits, you know, the cuts, pretty much any damage Luffy receives is like, it's greatly diminished, to say the least. There might be some damage that occurred. Even cuts are not as effective, okay? They're you know, puncture. He won't be able to get punctured, pierced. You understand what I'm saying? So this ability, it would be quite useful. I don't see this until anywhere down the line, until much later down the line, as he gets older, as he perfects, as he fully masters his Devil Fruit, and as well as his Conqueror's Haki game spikes significantly, dramatically. Okay, and that could potentially carry him pretty much till Pirate King level. Because think about it, if he's not really taking any damage and he's delivering powerful shots, for example, I think even though it's not canon, I conceive of it as a great indicator to where what Luffy would be, you know, in, for example, fight with Blackbeard, where he's fighting Luffy's fighting the third and final battle with Admiral Zephyr, aka Z, and you know his freestyle fighting is become limited, but Luffy's just simply in a slugfest. He's brawling and he's just going blow for blow. We even seen the opening again, not canon, but it's something to consider, and it can be a bit of foreshadowing where Luffy with Akainu just hockeyed up, he's throwing blow for blow. Okay, something conceivable. Now that made him more of a hybrid. He could use all three. Who knows? Gear 5th, that's something interesting. Now Gear 6, this is some far-fetched stuff, but just stay with me. This definitely focuses on Conqueror's Haki more than all of others. This is after Luffy's Pirate King, okay, fully mastered, both Devil Fruit, Haki, right? There is one element to water that I don't pay attention to, that a lot of people, I doubt, are paying attention to. Because the rubber fruit, it's, while seeming initially weak, the rubber fruit's actually quite a great ability to have. There's something about rubber. Not only is it resistant to electricity, it repels water. A lot of people bring up about, Luffy's weaknesses is slashing the... No. It's not swordsman. The weakness that Luffy faces, his number one weakness, the most dangerous threat to Luffy, is the threat that all Devil Fruit users have. It is seawater. It is, or the Kairoseki Stone. It is that. Well, if Luffy perfects not only his Devil Fruit to repel water, okay, but add to the fact of Conqueror's Haki, to where he can dominate all elements, even seawater itself will be no issue. Even Kairoseki, even the sea stone cuffs, sea stone chains will be nothing to him. Luffy will be at some completely other level that we, not even thinking about. And I know this is far-fetched, but this is where I have it. Gear 6, repel, total mastery of his Devil Fruit, where even seawater doesn't affect him. Conqueror's Haki's activated constantly, is just on. And he, in his presence, to where he just dominates, to where damage, he just is almost invincible at this point, to where the blunt force, to where he would no longer even really need gears. He wouldn't need gears. He'd just, just be clashing. He wouldn't, to this point, to where he would no longer even really use his elastic ability anymore. And if he used it, it's very powerful Haki lace blows. Probably Conqueror's Haki lace blows, mixed with Armament's Haki. And so now Luffy doesn't even have pretty much any weakness. That's where I'm going. These are my thoughts. What are yours? The Unexpected Woman, like, comment, subscribe. And yeah, I know some of this stuff is crazy, but yeah, come up with your own theories about what potentially, if you think what can Luffy do to advance himself. Alright, y'all, till next time, peace. Have a beautiful day, beautiful night.